everybody. My name is Katy from Greenland Quilter, and I would like to introduce Donnell of Donnell'sStitchery, and she's going to tell you a little bit about herself and about her channel, and then we will proceed from there.
Hey everybody, so my name is Donnell from Donnell'sStitchery. I am a recently, within the past couple months, new creator, and I love making quilts like the one I made right here for my son behind me. I also love making small crafts. One of my biggest favorite things to make is like fuzzy sock kittens or scrunchy bowl cozies or cathedral window Christmas ornaments, which is one thing I've been making a lot lately.
Who influenced you to learn how to sew?
My mom did first whenever I was like a preteen, many moons ago. So a few times started teaching me how to sew on a sewing machine, and she used to make mine and my brother's clothes. And so she taught me how to sew a quilt. We would go to flea markets and I would sell them there, which was really cool. And I, at that time, instead of quilting like on a long arm machine or a domestic sewing machine, she taught me to tie them, which I don't do now because I just don't really want to do that.
So, how old were you when you finished your first quilt?
I was when I finished my first one, I was probably like around like 11 or 12 years old.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you remember what it looked like?
It was a patchwork quilt that was just like a bunch of like squares of various clothing that we had cut up that we didn't use anymore or whatnot, and sewn it together on a quilt top. So it's very scrappy.
How long do you think you've been sewing and quilting?
See, when I turned my teenage years, I didn't ever pick up a sewing machine again because life got away. We started moving around a lot, and then I picked it back up. I want to say back in 2017 when I made my very first one up in my adult life.
Who is your favorite fabric and pattern designer and why?
The favorite fabric designer, I know a lot of people are going to hate me over this, and I'm so sorry, but my favorite fabric line to use is probably Joann Fabrics Keep Safe Calico.
Oh, nice.
I love the texture of it. I love the designs that it comes in. I love the fact that I can go with Joann, it's always accessible, and I've never had any problems with my quilts from using it. Oh my gosh, I know. My favorite is going shopping, and I go buy big bundles of it when it's on holiday sales.
Yeah.
But as far as that, my favorite quilt pattern, I probably don't really have a favorite quilt pattern designer. I like to look at whatever like piques my interest at that time, and then change it up to make something of my own.
Do you, or what are your favorite styles of fabric?
My favorite styles of fabric is probably tone on tone.
What is that?
Tone on tone.
Okay.
Let's see. I have a piece here that I could show as an example of something I'm working with right now. But that right there, where it's like it has like the little details in the yellow, but on a yellow background.
What is your quilting style? Traditional, modern, or in between?
Probably in between, because I'm not like completely strictly modern, but at the same time, I'm not strictly traditional either. So
can you tell us what you like about traditional and what you like about modern?
Traditional, I like a lot of the older designs, like the log cabin. But I also like how you can take the log cabin, the traditional log cabin, and make other designs using that, like a star or a heart or any other shade, or like how let's see, Fallon had time made like the log cabin house where the house was the center of it. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
So it's like I like how you can take the two styles and combine them to make something totally completely different.
Yeah. And the modern?
On the modern, I like, I would probably have to say like the color schemes that you can go with. I mean, go with it with the traditional too, but sometimes it's more complicated to get it put in there. Like how you can try and take like a traditional pattern and make it to a modern design.
Yeah, using modern colors
Yeah.
or changing the way the pattern looks. What is your future quilt project that you really want to pour yourself into?
I am actually trying to work on it right now, which is a quilt from, it'd be the very first quilt from me and my husband. And it's the double wedding ring.
Oh my goodness. That one's
Yeah.
great so far too.
It-
Wow.
Well, we're also beekeepers, so I'm using honeybee fabric.
Oh, that's nice. That is awesome. He's gonna love that too, I bet.
Oh, definitely. I was hoping to have it done in time for Christmas, but considering that that's the only block I have done so far.
From what I hear, that's a project that takes a while to do because some people don't sit down and just do it all in one lick. They
No, that took
enjoy
that
the slow
took me
process.
like a
of the
weekend to
whole-
do.
Yeah, yeah. What other hobbies do you dabble in?
I like hand stitching. I like doing diamond dots. I have
know.
not done it at all this year, so I'll probably be doing some after Christmas once things slow down a little bit. I used to do paint by number for acrylic paint. I haven't done it in a while since I picked up quilting.
Yeah.
I also love gardening in the summertime.
You like to grow in the summertime.
I do flower garden.
Okay.
And my husband and my son, they do, we split the backyard up. So the front of the backyard is my flower garden for the bees, and the back of the backyard is their vegetables.
Nice.
Yeah.
What colors do you enjoy using the most in your quilt?
I would probably have to say earth tones or pinks and purples.
Okay. When did you start your YouTube channel? What were your goals at the beginning? And how has that evolved over time?
So I started my YouTube channel probably, I want to say about 2 to 3 months ago.
You're a newbie like me.
Yeah, it was right around the time that you did, like right afterwards, pretty much within a couple weeks after you did. I had started because I just wanted to start showing what I do, and plus work on getting over my fear of being the center of attention on the camera.
I don't know if I'm ever going to get over that one.
I've always had this issue of being like on camera, of being the center of attention on camera, or just like put myself out there. And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, might as well just do it right in my own personal space, so that way there is a controlled zone for me.
Do you find it intimidating watching yourself in a camera?
Yes, I try not to look at the camera at the screen.
Yeah, I know. That's like, but I'm slowly kind of acclimating to it. But I think it already, probably will always bother me a little bit.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, is a hair standing up?
Or did I touch my face too much? Or did I don't know.
Yeah, I have a tendency when I start thinking too hard, or concentrating too hard, I'll bite my bottom lip. I'm like, oh, I hope I wasn't doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All these little quirks we try to not do. Sometimes they still slip in once or twice.
Yep.
Who is your quilt inspiration, or how do you find inspiration?
There's probably a combination depending on what style I want to go with at the time, or what type of project I want to tackle. There is probably about maybe between 7 to 10 creators that I watch religiously. And so that way there I can help me come up with ideas or techniques or something. I like playing with color and designs, and because I have EQ8 on my computer, so I like taking something, putting up a design on there, and then playing with colors and or changing up a block a little bit to see what piques my interest.
You know, you and I should get together about the EP8 because I just bought me a copy of it.
Okay,
Maybe we can come up with something.
that would be fun.
Yeah.
Do like a little quilt, a
Yeah.
small quilt club or something.
Yeah. That we both did out of EP8. Yeah. That would be great.
Yeah,
I think that's a great idea.
me too.
I want to kind of revisit about the channel a little bit. Can you show us some of the things you've been sewing that I noticed you seem to have an Etsy shop that's tied to your YouTube channel as well. Can you show us some of your little small crafts that you are doing that you involve in both ways?
Yep, I actually have some handy. And also on my channel, every time I hit an additional 100 subscribers, I am doing a giveaway. And the giveaway is things I make myself that is also available for sale on my store. So you're essentially getting a free item from my store.
Awesome.
But here's one of the things I just did last weekend. It's cathedral window style Christmas ornaments. So this in here is like it's like little mason jars that has like a Santa Claus, snowman, Christmas, different type of themes, all inside of mason jars, which I thought was super cute fabric. Yep. Then we have a green one here with peppermint candy. And one of my favorite things I do, and this is all hand sewn by me, is like my little sock kittens.
Right up a baby's alley.
Yeah, I've thought about trying little baby dolls because they actually had tutorials on that too, but I've never tried it, and I just love doing the little kittens.
Yeah, you do what's you're more interested in. I don't have one here where I can show it to you, so I'll look for it. I have it stuck away, but I like to make the heart, the Christmas heart.
Okay.
Which is the Norwegian Norwegian thing. Nordic.
Yeah, like the prayer hearts or whatnot.
It's a Nordic thing. Nordic countries make the hearts out of paper and stuff, and I've learned how to make the weave sewing it.
Okay.
And it's really pretty, and if you use the right kind of Christmas fabric, it really shines. And you can, and what they do is they put candy down inside of it and they hang it on the tree. So you could take
that would be cool.
Fill a candy up and hang it on your tree for your children or family members or even adults.
Hey,
so look for that and show it to you.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
So I hear you're a beekeeper. Can you tell us about your bees and what you use the honey for?
So we did have 4 hives back behind my garage. I lived in Roseville in the middle of the city, so my honeybees are right in my backyard, back behind my garage. They're away from everybody. They don't ever bother anybody that I'm aware of. They pretty much stay to themselves as long as you leave their hives alone. They don't bother you. I've had them come up into my front yard and my flower right there beside my flower beds in my front yard, and I'll sit there right beside of them.
Yeah.
And you can even put your finger right over by them and they don't even acknowledge you.
Mm-hmm.
So they're Italian honeybees, which are very calm and not very aggressive. Honeybees can actually fly up to about 3 miles away to forage for pollen. And we like to use the honey that we get from the hives for like in hot tea or go on our biscuits, any type of like croissants or biscuits. My husband will mix the honey with some melted butter and pour it on top of the biscuits. So good.
my husband would be in heaven.
Oh, I am every time. I'm like, oh, there came on another 50 pounds.
So do you sell your honey as well?
I pretty much just like close by friends and family. If anybody wants to buy any, then we just ask for the shipping, but we don't actually like commercially sell it just quite yet because we haven't had enough coming in through the beehives yet. We would like to get more beehives and everything and have more of an intake before we actually start like commercially selling it.
I've seen on a couple of homesteaders that do bees, and they've had bees, sometimes the whole hive will move from somewhere else to somewhere else. And I've seen on 2 different occasions for this one called Ignite, where bees had showed up in his tree that didn't come from his hive. And he was able to move them into a hive without losing the entire hive, with it migrating far away from them. But
Yeah, it's actually called
these angry bees trying to protect the female,
Yeah, that's actually called when the bees do that, it's actually called a swarm.
Yep.
And what they do is they create a whole new queen before they get ready to swarm. And then once she hatches, they all fly off. Like half of the hive will fly off with a new queen, and they'll go create a new hive. And usually if you're watching the hive close enough, you can see it coming on, and set another box, beehive box close by, and they'll swarm right into that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that way there you're not losing your bees and you just got another hive.
That's really cool. He not this past summer, but I think it was either last summer or the summer before, he had a problem with was an Asian wasp that decapitates bees so that they could get into the hive.
Well, what the wasp and wasp and yellow jackets are actually a very big time, especially in the fall, of honeybee hive robbers. And they're cannibals. They will actually eat the honeybees.
Yeah, it's crazy because this wasp was like 2 times the size of a bee, and he was filming because he was trying to capture the wasp before it killed so many of his bees. And you could literally see bees dropping onto the ground as the wasp was beheading. It was an insane thing. And I saw in California where they had managed to capture a whole bunch of them in them because they're dangerous for the bee population.
Yeah, they're really bad. I actually lost because of the local yellow jackets, because yellow jackets were really bad this year because we didn't have as much of a cold winter last year as what we normally do.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually just lost a one whole hive. It was our weakest one, but which was also relatively the newest one. But they were holding their own for a little bit, and then it just became so overpopulated from the yellow jackets all attacking it that we just lost the whole hive, and there was nothing we could do to stop it.
Yeah.
It's like watching a runaway train knowing there's nothing you can do. It was so devastating.
Yep. Do you have any philanthropic activities that you participate in?
Do I have any what now?
Are you involved in any philanthropic activities? Do you make things and donate them somewhere, or
yeah, there's actually a place close by to me, and last year I that helped rehome and rehabilitate veterans back into the world after coming back from like wars or from serving or whatnot. And so it's they're called rehoming veterans, or cannot think of the name offhand. I'll have to get that to you later. But anyway, last year I actually made and donated 2 quilts to them.
Nice. That's really good.
Yeah, I want to do more, but it's hard for me to make quilts at times because ever since I injured my back in 2021, the whole like quilting it myself is really stressful on my back.
Maybe you could find maybe you can make quilt tops and then find somebody who likes to long arm that donates to veterans. I know somebody in Atlanta, Georgia. He quilts the blower from people who make the quilts but don't have the money to spend to quilt them after they've made them. So sometimes the quilter Valor will send her several quilts for quilting, and she quilts them and sends them back to the quilter Valor.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be something I could look into and all. I didn't even think about that. I was just like I have no problem making as many quilt tops as possible. And I can usually make them fairly quickly. It's just, for me, just like the whole like basting them together or sandwiching them together, as well as the actual quilting of it, takes so much out of my back.
Yeah, that's something worth looking into then. What other tidbits of information could you share with us that you haven't already told us about?
Well, one thing I forgot to mention when you asked what we do with the resources from the bees,
Mhm.
I also make my own lip balms.
Oh, cool.
Yep. And which I've also tested out, as well as one of my other subscribers has already tested out for me. Makes really good thread conditioner for if you like hand sewing.
Yeah, I have a bunch of beeswax and I have no idea what to use it for.
You know what? Maybe one day I'll do a thing on my show of how I create it to get from the beeswax into the my lip balm form.
That's actually a
And
good idea.
yeah, I'm saying that way
Video about
there, I would just have to make sure my guys know to stay out of my kitchen.
it.
But yeah, I mean, I love showing different ways of doing different things, you know,
Now you
and
can also make a video showing how to use the beeswax for sewing.
yep. Yeah, because I mean, I use it for my lips. Because I get like the dry skin through here because I'm in Michigan and winters suck.
Yeah, I have
I
trouble.
use it for like I use it for a cuticle conditioner and for right around my nose here. I got a tube for everything.
That sounds good. Okay, now I'm going to do the fun part and you get to think on your feet. Okay, I want you to share 5 tips for beginners who are learning how to make quilts on what you think would help them become better quilt makers.
Don't overthink on any aspect. Practice, practice, practice. As practice always makes perfect. Number 3, I would say don't dwell so much on the 1/4 inch, dwell on being consistent. Like if you are sewing consistently at a slightly over or slightly under a 1/4 inch, stay consistent with that. That's pretty much what I do. I don't focus so much on the 1/4 inch itself, but on staying with how I'm doing it. I would have to say keep your fingers away from the rotary cutter blade when you're cutting, because I cannot tell you how many times I've taken out the tip of my fingers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I've done a few blood donations. If you ever do get blood on anything of yours of fabric, your saliva will help bring it out. So just try and put a little bit of spit on it and then use some paper towel or a tissue and dab at it, and it'll bring your blood right out of it.
That definitely works for sure. I've stuck a pin in my finger and made it bleed and got it on my fabric, and somebody told me that when I tried it, it worked. People are like, "Yeah, that sounds gross," but it worked. So
it's something about your own DNA and your saliva will pull the blood right out.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Okay, so that looks like 5 now.
Yep.
Share 5 notions you think all beginner quilt makers should have on hand when they start.
So I would say extra needles for your sewing machine. Snips, a good pair of fabric scissors, a couple of seam rippers, because they dull out quickly if you use them enough. And stick pins, as well as clips, because I use both.
That's good. That's a good.
I've been practicing.
Yeah, you have. Okay, so the last thing is what advice could you give to a beginner quilter that you want to share with us that would help anyone, even if you're not a beginner? What one thing would you share?
Practice makes perfect.
Yep. Yep. Okay, so do you have any other things you would like to talk about before we stop?
Not offhand. I think we pretty much covered everything.
Yeah, I think so too.
You did a really good job.
Thank you. You did too. Thank you for coming, and we will see everybody on the night that we premiere the video. So stay tuned. We will set a date, and it should be in the next 2 or 3 days probably. So stay tuned. We both will be posting about it. And thank you for watching the video. When you do watch it with us, we'll be sitting in the chat. So should you have any questions, please ask. We will be happy to
Bye.
answer them. And bye.